Hello, hello, everybody. How we doing? Hello, trans girl Jade. Hello, Prancing Goldfish. Kyryu, thank you for gifting a sub to Prancing Goldfish. That's very kind of you. Shaloon, hello. Catalina Gearbox, hello. Metal Kitty Mom, hello. VCCTV, Spectral Pyre, hello, one and all. Hello, Neuron. Hello, Salmon Moose. Hello, Christinos. Hello, Ryla. Hello, Run Trip Fall. And hello, A Carrier Exploration. Hello, Storma. Hello, Penny. How y'all doing? Looking heckin' cute? I've been told that my outfit makes me look like a MySpace slut, which is, frankly, kind of the look I'm going for, so nailed it. Hey, Natalie Lush. Oh, goodness. My shoulder. I did. Yeah, 1 second, chat. What a lovely day. You look super sexy. That's the MySpace slut coming through. Ooh, bubblegum goth is an underrated kind of goth. That wasn't the lip read, but yeah, not too far off. Back in my day, we used MySpace. Back in my day, we used Friendster. Back in my day, we used the address book. Am I using a light filter? No, but I tweaked the camera settings a little bit. But I have like two custom lights that like can be like made warmer, cooler, brighter, darker, etc. Um so no, just the lighting. Just the lighting rigs. Back in my day we used AOL Instant Messenger. Yeah. Yeah, Ryla, step ahead of you. How we all doing, folks? A lot of stuff happened today. A lot of stuff happened today. Rip to GeoCities? True. A real one. We lost a real one that day. Let's see. All right. So, folks, today's a big day. The United States made history. A splinter faction of the Republican Party decided to stab itself in the back. And that led to a vote on who is going to be House Speaker. And they kicked Kevin McCarthy out of office. He is also he's not going to re-seek the speakership. That's already been announced. It's very funny. It's very funny. Like a lot of it was Matt Gaetz deciding just, yeah, fuck it. We're gonna have chaos. We're gonna let loose the dogs of war, and the Republican Party is currently in shambles. It's so great. I was giggling in front of my parents over McCarthy being yeeted. Yeah, like he tried to turn to the Democrats to save himself. Like it's just so so delicious. Finally, some good food. And yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting. It's going to be very interesting. Now into a shutdown of a different kind. Well, to be honest, like the implications for this are, I mean, the bipartisanship, like hand gesturing, like in the name of like, oh, we're like centrist Dems and like Republicans make deals together. A lot of their caucuses are just dissolving right now. Republicans are just infuriated. Um, and yeah, this is the first time this has happened in American history, and it is very funny and entirely self-inflicted. Let's go and take a listen to Kevin McCarthy's speech after the vote, because I bet he has some fun things to say here. Let's pull him up. There he is.
Good evening, all. You know, President Abraham Lincoln once said, "I'm an optimist because I don't see any other way." If you ever come to my office, you'll see the portraits of Lincoln and Reagan. And I firmly believe if Reagan gave us advice, he would say, if you believe your principles bring people greater freedom, you should be happy about it. I've always been excited that I've been a happy conservative. But I've always believed that I've been so fortunate to be an American. My journey to this office was something people wouldn't understand. I grew up in a town of Bakersfield, California, the son of a firefighter, the grandson of immigrants. Parents worked hard, the youngest in my family. Didn't have great wealth, and got out of high school, I didn't have great grades. Couldn't get a scholarship, went to community college. Flipped cars to try to pay my way through it. Went to visit some buddies away in college for a weekend, stopped at the grocery store to cash a check, and I won the lottery. One of the first in California. It was before Biden economics. It was only 5,000, but it went much further back then. Took my folks to dinner, put the majority of the rest of the money into the stock market, and did pretty well. The next semester, I took a break from school. I went to buy a franchise, but no one said they would sell me one, because I was only 20 years old. But I learned then never to give up. So I opened my own business, selling sandwiches. 3 things I learned. First to work, last to leave, last to be paid. I wanted to finish my college degree. At that time, no one in my family had finished a 4-year degree. I did pretty well. I now had enough money that I could pay my way through school as long as I went to Cal State. So I sold my business, going to school. I opened up the local paper and said, be a summer intern in Washington, D.C. with my local congressman.
Man, I'm really glad he's giving us his life story of how he lost the speakership.
I did not know this man, but I thought he'd be lucky to have me, so I applied. And you know what he did? He turned me down. But you want to know the end of the story? I got elected to a seat I couldn't get an intern.
You want to know the end of this story? I'm here. I just got kicked out. Just got kicked out of one of the heartbeats away from the president.
For I ended up being the 55th Speaker of the House. One of the greatest honors. I loved every minute. And the one thing I will tell you is, doing the right thing isn't always easy, but it is necessary. I don't regret standing up for choosing governance over grievance. It is my responsibility. It is my job. I do not regret negotiating. Our government is designed to find compromise. I don't regret my efforts to build coalitions and find solutions. I was raised to solve problems, not create them. So I may have lost a vote today, but as I walk out of this chamber...
Yeah, that's a great idea, but then he became a Republican, so, you know,
where I feel fortunate to have served the American people. I leave the speakership with a sense of pride, accomplishment, and yes, optimism. From the day I entered politics, my mission has always been to make tomorrow better than today. I fought for what I believe in, and I believe in this country of America. My goals have not changed. My ability to fight is just in a different form. You need 218. Unfortunately, 4% of our conference can join all the Democrats and dictate who can be the Republican Speaker in this House. I don't think that rule is good for the institution, but apparently I'm the only one.
I don't think this democratic rule is good. Okay, bud. I'm sorry. I don't think it's good for our institution that Republicans can reach across the aisle and agree with Democrats. I think that's bad.
One. I believe I can continue to fight, maybe in a different manner. I will not run for Speaker again. I'll have the conference pick somebody else. I hope you realize that every day I did the job, regardless whether you underestimated me or not, I wanted to do it with a smile. I grew to enjoy you, even on your toughest days and your questions. I could always tell what day it was based upon your question. Monday, you would ask if I could pass the bill. Tuesday was whether the rule would pass. Wednesday was the greatest challenge ever to my speakership. And Thursday, when we passed the bill, you didn't think it was a very big deal. And it all started again on Friday. You know, I wouldn't change a thing.
Except not losing.
I do believe I got a new portrait in there, too, of Teddy Roosevelt. You all know the man in the arena. One of my favorite parts of it, who errs, who comes up short again and again, but there is no effort without error and shortcoming. Who spends himself in a worthy cause, who knows the triumph of high achievement, and if he fails, at least he fails while daring greatly. I always like to take a risk. Saturday, I took a risk for the American public. Regardless what anybody says, no one knew whether that would pass. The Democrats didn't want that bill. Yes, they pull a fire alarm. Yes, they do their conga line. Yes, they wanted to delay.
4 sweater vests. Thank you for the tier 1 sub.
I could not look the troops in the eye and say I would not pay them.
Thank you.
For those who spoke on the floor, I thank them for their positive talks. I don't know what those who voted against and said there was some deal, they were never a part of any deal. For those who said about what we accomplished, I'm proud of what we accomplished. From the Parents' Bill of Rights to our energy bill. But if they want to hold me, Parents' Bill of Rights.
Sorry, I have to rehear this.
About what we accomplished, I'm proud of what we accomplished.
Did he just say plowed? I'm plowed.
About what we accomplished. For those who said about what we accomplished, I'm proud of what we accomplished. From the Parents' Bill of Rights, what we accomplished, I'm proud of what we accomplished. From the Parents' Bill of Rights.
He says plowed, right? I'm proud of what we accomplished.
About what we accomplished, I'm proud of what we accomplished. From the Parents' Bill of Rights.
I'm not just hearing that, right? That he did fumble his word there and say plowed. "100% plowed." Thank you, Penny. Okay, good.
But if they want to hold me liable because the Senate
and he's not the only one
didn't take it up, or the president didn't take it up, that's politics, for what I know. But the one thing I do know, this country is too great for small visions of those 8. To any child that are listening and who are coming to visit the Capitol, this is a place I want you to visit. I liked opening the Capitol back up again. I liked taking away the metal detectors. I liked committees being able to work. I liked people being able to visit. I hope you liked being able to be back in. I think it was important that that members actually show up to work as well. You know, to paraphrase Lou Gehrig, he said, "I might have been given a bad break, but I truly still consider myself to be the luckiest man on the face of the earth."
Yes, truly, your situation is absolutely analogous to Lou Gehrig.
There's no other country
Okay, bud.
that you could rise to be the 55th Speaker, not get an internship, and be able to fight for the American public. So it was my greatest honor to be able to do it. I love my conference well. I love to be able to ability. I've been a part of the leadership team for quite some time. We won 2 majorities. As leader, I'm proud of the fact we only gained races, only gained seats. I'm proud of the fact as a Republican leader, we elected more women. We elected more minorities. We expanded the base. I'm proud of the fact that for the 5 years I was leader, 2 election cycles, we gained 5 more seats in California, 5 more in New York. We won in places no one thought we could win. The same thing, you would underestimate me. You always said we'd lose each time around. We kept gaining. I intend to make sure that we gain and keep the majority in the next cycle as well. With that, I look forward to your positive questions. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, is it hard to suck this much ass?
Well, I'll look at that.
You still obviously command a lot of loyalty within the conference. We've heard you say approximately 10,000 times that you never give up. So I'm wondering, why not? Why did you make the decision not to put your name forward again and try to grind it out like you did when you won the job in the first place?
You know, you need 218 for the rule, 218 to move
Sorry,
forward.
Lady Rakeland.
And I'll never give up on the American people. That doesn't mean I have to be Speaker to do what I have to do for the American people.
I mean, I'll never give up, but I'm giving up now. What's unclear here?
There's a lot of things I could do for the American people. But you know what's interesting? Everybody's sitting there. In today's world, if you're sitting in Congress and you took a gamble to make sure government was still open, and 8 people can throw you out as Speaker, and the Democrats who said they wanted to keep government...
Democracy's really unfair, guys. Look, I'm all for voting until I lose. And at that point, I don't want it to be a democracy anymore.
government open, I think you've got a real divide. I think you've got a real institutional problem. Interesting, it was in this room after we had won the majority, I hadn't become Speaker last, and Nancy Pelosi came to me. She was Speaker at the time on the way out. And I told her I was having issues with getting enough votes. And she said, "What's the problem?" I said, "They want this one person can rule you out." She was the only Speaker to have changed that rule. I had the power to call the vote on her, but I never would. I lost some votes because of it. And she said, "Just give it to him. I'll always back you up." I made the same offer to Boehner and same thing to Paul, because I believe in the institution. I think today was a political decision by the Democrats. And I think...
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. Yeah, you think removing the Speaker of the House? Oh, it was a political decision. Oh, man, I never would have guessed that. That's crazy. Next, you're going to be telling me impeachment is a political process. You silly goose.
The things they have done in the past hurt the institution. When they just started removing people from committee. They just started doing the other things. And my fear is the institution fell today. Because you can't do the job if 8 people, you have 94% of, or 96% of your entire conference, but 8 people can partner with the whole other side.
Yeah, look, it's really unfair in a democracy when you know, a small group of people change their minds and act as swing voters. I mean, you get to decide everything.
How do you govern? And for them to make a motion on me because I made a decision for the country that they agreed with, but they choose to do the other, that becomes a problem. Yes, sir.
So, one, are you planning on endorsing a successor to you? And then
I might.
Huh?
I might.
You might.
Yeah.
Who would that be?
I don't know who's running that.
Okay.
I'll talk to people.
And when you look back, is there anything you could have done differently to with those 8 members?
Yeah.
Man, just every frame of this is could be like still framed, you know, a screenshot just taken, turned black and white, and then the slow zoom while "Hello Darkness, My Old Friend" begins to play. You know, like he just got rolled, dog.
Yeah, a lot of them I helped get elected, so I probably should have picked somebody else.
What if the 200 don't give up on you? I see Jim Bates here. There's others that really, really support you.
You know,
If you're nominated again, if you keep getting nominated, will you stay?
You know, I love these 200. They've gone through so much. They're down in the conference. They want me to.
Drago, I'd really like to finish Bald Man Gate sometime.
They'll say they're going to keep voting for me. I think you should put the country first. You know, this job was never about me. I hope you felt that I always felt, what can we do best to move forward? I mean, I treated Hakeem the way I wanted to be treated. I'd tell him things we were doing throughout, so he never was questioned.
I gave him foot massages at the end of the day. He didn't want them, but I gave them anyway. I just started waiting outside of his office, and goddamn, I just needed that man's feet in my hands. What? Well, you're supposed to treat him the way you want to be treated, and I want someone to fetishize my feet, damn it. Thanks, Kevin McCarthy.
I wanted to bring the body back differently. We created a select committee on China. I changed the Intel committee. They just came back from MIT where they all had bipartisan briefing on AI and quantum.
Kevin McFooty.
Started doing briefings with AI the whole conference of Republicans and Democrats alike.
You're very welcome here,
We're
Penny.
far from solving that problem, but I'm proud of what we were able to do there. So we'll continue. Yes, sir.
When did you make this decision? Did you know the most eventually succeeded that you would not run again, or was this right afterwards?
You know, not all those 8, but these are the same people that never voted for me. They thought it was big. They went to president.
Hey, Archangel.
After we went through 15 rounds. Why do I do something for myself that can hurt the country? Why create? I'm not quite sure those individuals.
Well, I don't understand. You mean someone might enrich themselves off the backs of other people? Well, that just doesn't seem very American. Thanks, Kevin McCarthy.
Are looking to be productive. It concerns me as a Republican based upon watching what they do. I want to be a Republican and a conservative that governs. And we're going to have to find our way to do that. The challenge
We haven't yet, but maybe one day we'll get there.
is we had so
Hey,
many
Todd Pemper.
opportunities. These are the same people that sat on the floor and criticized me that we didn't get all 12 spending bills done, but we first had to do a debt ceiling that they didn't support. They held up every appropriation bill in the summer because they wouldn't let it come through. After the debt ceiling, they stopped us from doing anything on the floor. When we had a continuing resolution,
You know, the Democrats stopped you because, like, you wanted to cut, like, bills that were, or you wanted to cut budgets that were going towards, like, feeding homeless people. That's why they blocked it. You were trying to pass through, like, spending for schools that was absolutely abysmal. That's why they didn't let you pass it.
that would do something on the border. I listened to one talk about how it made him think about the border and when he voted against it. And then they wanted to challenge me because I worked with the other side so America could go forward and government could stay open. You know, if you have to lose for something, I will always lose for the country. It is a much better battle to have. Yes, sir. Change the rules. Do you think I let it? I mean, for the whole point, I mean, if you talk about like a Gates. The Gates came to the whole conference and said, we will never
Do you think I let it? If I had known it would be used against me, I absolutely would not have let it.
use this. We'll never use this, you know. I mean, this is a man that sat there on the 14th vote and said, okay, I'm going to vote for you next time, and falls back and not. So, I mean, it's just the trustworthiness of a lot of individuals. It makes it difficult. But I do not
Oh,
think,
poor Drago, I'm
regardless
sorry.
of who the speaker is, that you should have that rule. You know, everybody had it but Pelosi, but it was never used until it
Are you
started
feeling
getting
better,
used
Archangel?
against, Boehner. And if the entire other, if you can always count on the other party to vote in a block against it,
Trans
then
Girl
you're
Jade,
allowing
thank
4
you
to
for
5
choosing
people
my stream. I appreciate
to
that.
control whatever. So it doesn't matter even if you have 96%. So that is not a government that works.
I love you.
That is chaotic.
Last question.
Yeah. Okay, go right ahead.
I hear you talking about the challenge for Republicans. I'm wondering what you think this means, what this says about the Republican Party.
I don't think it says about the Republican Party. I think it says something about some people who are not a conservative. I mean, if you were a conservative and you only had one entity making the battle and you vote against securing the border, you vote against cutting this wasteful spending, and then you partner with all the Democrats. Now you'll phrase it all the other different ways. That's not a conservative. Look, you all know Matt Gaetz. You know it was personal.
You all know Matt Gaetz. That guy I helped cover up sex crimes for.
It had nothing to do about spending. It had nothing to do about everything he accused somebody of he was doing. It all was about getting attention from you. I mean, we're getting email fundraisers from him as he's doing it. Join in quickly. That's not governing. That's not becoming of a member of Congress. And regardless of what you think, I've seen the text. It was all about his ethics. But that's all right.
Mr. Murphy, can I just clarify really quickly from the first question? Are you considering resigning?
No, I said, he asked about that. I haven't thought about that. I said, yeah.
And then just on where you're placing the blame, you said the institution is.
Look. No. I'm not going to blame anybody.
Carry your exploration. You're 100% correct. Shutting down the government would be bad because there are millions of people that rely on its goods and services.
There's not blame anywhere. Look, I give it as good as I get it, right? So you know the challenge. I knew going in. You would take a poll all the time. Is he going to get thrown out this week? But you know what? If I lose my job over doing what I truly believe what's right, I'm very at peace with it. You asked earlier, like, when did I decide? I knew they would make the motion on me. It didn't make one bit of difference. I felt very comfortable in that decision. And I think the American public believed that decision was right.
Do you think Matt Gaetz should be expelled from the Republican conference?
That's the conference's decision.
Mr. Carty, now, you mentioned that you're looking to maybe help instill in another way. Would you consider having a position somewhere in the conference, whether it's leadership or the chairmanship? Can you talk about that?
No. There's a lot of great people in conference. There's always other people to do jobs. It is amazing the talent that we had. And the one thing I've always hoped as speaker that we lifted more of that talent up. I look at people doing a lot of different jobs and the different opportunities we did, and they're doing an exceptional job. We have so much talent. It is remarkable. Yeah.
Then explain you sucking ass. I'm confused. Do you have talent or merely untalented people thinking everyone else is more talented than they are? Also, Bobo Hobo, thank you for the kind words about me deserving more viewers. I appreciate that, and I agree with you. I deserve all of the viewers, literally every single one of them. If you are viewing something right now, it should be me. I'm sorry.
Is this kind of in your mind a little bit preordained from the beginning? Obviously, it was a much more narrow majority than what you anticipated.
Also, if you see me move my arm around a lot, I like strained like a muscle or a tendon in there somewhere. And it's just trying to figure out where and how to stretch in a way that's useful. Thanks, Bobo.
Republicans considered 15 rounds, the longest speaker's race since 1859. And then
I made history, didn't I?
it was that, well, we did that, yeah. But was that kind of always thought that it was inevitably going to go this because of the narrow majority and because the writing might have been on the wall because of that?
Well, would any of you think if it took that long and you had a one person, you knew it was always a possibility, so that was fine. Didn't bother me, didn't change any of my decision I made. But it was interesting. I read a tweet the other day of
Oh God, Metal Kitty Mom, just wait. We're gonna talk about Hasan in China some more because my man just is wildin'.
Matt Rosendale. He goes to Mass every day. But you know what he said his prayer was all last year? That
Hey, Beata.
Republicans didn't have a big victory, that they had a narrow victory. When you have members like that are part of your team, you got a tough team. You know, look, when I was in business, I got to hire and fire who worked with me. Somebody else hires them, somebody else fires them. My job was to inspire them. I think we did some good work, and I think we'll continue to do great work. Yes, sir.
Can you reflect back on 2010 when you guys were a young guy?
Trans Girl Jade, I really appreciate the
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
words from all you guys.
Now, all three of you guys have been essentially,
Well, we're not that young anymore.
well, with all three of you have been pushed out by so-called more conservative members. How do you
No, let's be fair, and it's wrong that you ever say. They are not conservatives.
Oh, that's very interesting. If they're not conservatives, what are they, Kevin?
They voted against, one, the greatest cut in history that Congress has ever voted for, $2 trillion. They voted against work requirements. They voted against NEPA reform. They voted against border security. They voted against... They don't get to say they're conservative because they're angry and they're chaotic. That's...
Oh, we got another one, KBS. We got maybe another 2 in us today. I'm glad that my content is based and cozy. I work really hard on this stream, guys.
That's not the party I belong to. The party of Reagan was if you believed in your principles that you could govern in a conservative way. They are not conservatives and they do not have the right to have the title. Yes.
You worried that Donald Trump is conservative party in this direction that makes it difficult to govern, makes it difficult to get conservative orders?
Why do you say that? Because your question doesn't hold true to history.
Oh, also, just throwing this out there, tomorrow around 8 p.m. Central Time, we will be talking with the Humanist Report. Very excited. We've interacted before briefly on stream, but it's going to be just a nice one-on-one, just kind of discussion about wherever our words take us. I'm really excited. And yeah, Mike's great. I've enjoyed all of the interactions I've had with him. We'll probably be going over obviously this other recent news. And the day after that, we'll be talking with Gay Fesh. So we got 2 guests this week, and next week on Thursday, I will be I will be on the Leftist Mafia. So, yeah, you guys should all turn out for those. Would an appeal to Reagan be an appeal to authority or tradition? I would say both.
When Donald Trump was president, we did tax reform. You can look at all of our different successes. So, I mean, you may dislike the policy, but we've been very successful. You watched the Abraham Accords. I mean, you can go victory after victory. The price of gas, we were energy independent at the time. We had more businesses.
Leftist Mafia confirmed.
We didn't have to evacuate our embassies. You know, it's easy on its merit to see the difference of what Biden has destroyed America to what the policies we were able to create. Yes, sir.
Can I ask you, what about your conversation with Stephen Jeffries? What did
No, we didn't ask for anything.
You didn't ask for anything at all. You didn't ask any impeachment inquiry.
We are the wind beneath your wings.
No.
Well, interesting that you mentioned that. We've been live for about an hour now, and if you're enjoying the stream, consider dropping some subs and donos to become the wind beneath my wings that make this stream soar and continue to stay airborne, even as we tire in year after year of news upon news. So, yes, become the wind beneath my wings, chat. Subs, bits, donos, exclamation point tips, all of them appreciated. Consider dropping some of that sweet, sweet life paper my way. And, I'll move on from here. More metaphors? No. Metaphors are for chats that make donos. Let's go.
And I have a lot of respect for Hakeem. He wants to win the majority. I heard what they said in conference. Why would they vote for me if I've won every time as leader? I raised 70% of all the money. It's an opportunity for them. The real question to the 8.
Plastic, we don't have paper money?
And allow the Democrats to do it.
Sometimes.
That's the question, yes.
We
Yo.
got him BWA. BWA. Bawa ha ha ha BWA.
Oh, KBS, thank you for the 5 gifted tier 1 subs. That is very, very generous of you. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much. It's a good day. BWA energy
What
to the
concessions
max.
did I make?
You could have leaned towards Democrats to give them possibility
To what?
to secure your leadership in the first.
Look, I'm not going to.
He's so
No.
mad. He's so
I'm a
mad.
Republican. I win by Republicans and I lose by Republicans.
Hey,
It's
sacrifice
not
zone.
that way. And so, did I work with? I believe you should work across the aisle. I work.
I'm
across
sorry
the
you're
aisle.
sick as fuck.
Do I
You'll
want
feel
to
better
make the
soon.
bill the most conservative possible? Yes, that's the goal. It's difficult when you can't get 218 for the conservative bill. And then they want to challenge you when you went and solved and kept the government open. Yes, sir.
The last few months, you've been a firewall against the debt ceiling crisis, government shutting down.
We did pretty well, didn't we?
How big of a risk do you think a shutdown is in November without you as speaker?
Oh, other people can do the job. It's interesting. I've never received so many texts from so many senators about how big a play we just did the other day, or how many congratulations about the debt ceiling and the other. I mean, if I would go back to...
It's almost like 96% of my party approved of what I did, and only 4% disapproved. It must be democracy of some kind.
I'm also pleased to announce that I have discovered that when I put my hair up earlier, I accidentally did a hairstyle smiley face.
Yeah.
Also, BWA.
Honestly, putting your hair up sometimes, excellent new style. Penny, thank you for the $10 dono. I really, really appreciate it. And the Dark Canuck, thank you for the $2.79 Canadian. Thank you very much. The slight breeze beneath my wings, also always appreciated, friend. Thank you. The BWA energy is off the charts.
The days
Paper
before
money
the
is
debt
cringe?
ceiling,
Well,
none
yeah,
you
of
even
course
thought
it
I'd
is.
get a meeting with the president. All of you'd ask me, is it going to fall off the cliff? End of the day, we worked an agreement out. Some of those people got mad about it, but 2/3, the highest number of Republicans ever voted for a debt ceiling when you had it. And you only negotiated based upon the deal we went. That was the moment they wanted to go after, and that's what they continue to follow through.
Is the right eating each other? Oh, Catalina Gearbox, 100%. It's
You should.
glorious.
Look, government's designed.
The best part about this, though, is how a lot of people have been reacting to Speaker McCarthy's ouster. It's been very, very funny. And we'll get to it.
That you have to have compromise. No, you can't get everything that you want. You got a House, you got a Senate, but you had more to the question.
Well, my point was, my question was just going to be that some of the criticism leveled at you today by both Democrats and by Republicans is that perhaps you've been too transactional.
In which way?
Part is about keeping your
In which word did I not keep? Name one thing I did not keep.
Gates says that there's
Name one thing I did not keep. He's about ready to challenge some of these reporters to a fight. I'm very excited to see it happen.
Oh, no, tell me, what did Gates say? What did I not keep in Gates' mind? Because Gates had never been a part of a discussion. Just because Gates said something, don't believe it's true. I haven't heard him say one true thing yet.
Democrats say you reneged
On what? On what?
on the debt ceiling.
That is not true. So no. If you're going to ask the question, you're going to say it. Tell me how I did something different on the debt ceiling bill. Any of you. Tell me what I did different on the debt ceiling, that I didn't keep my word.
I will roast you motherfuckers alive if you don't answer me.
Is it not a ceiling? Okay, this is the Okay, no. When you agree to spending levels, that's the maximum amount you can spend. This is what is wrong with Washington. Because it's the height that you can spend, you can also spend less. We're a different body. So does any of you believe then the Senate broke their word on the debt ceiling? Because they spent more than the limit. But somehow I'm wrong because I want to save the taxpayers more money. We're our own body. I have 2 children. If I give them
I have 2 children. I have mouths to feed, damn it.
$100 for dinner, and one spends 100 and one spends 80, am I going to yell at the one who spent 80 and said, oh my God, you got to spend it all? It's not our money. And why am I getting criticized because I'm fighting for the American people that we can eliminate waste? And you know what? We're our own body. So if we can pass the bills, and the Senate can pass the bills, but they pass them higher, but they haven't passed anything, somehow I'm wrong? I kept my word. I did not spend over the limit. They broke their word.
You don't feel you're too transactional, though.
Okay, you used the word, how was I transactional? If you ask a question, I want you to show an example. Give me an example.
The definition is basically this for that.
So what did I do this for that?
Lil bro was doing so good through this entire thing, and now he's starting to just unravel completely. He had like 5 minutes in him, and he has to walk 15 minutes. Oh God. Yeah, Metal Kitty Mom also, yeah. Who spends... If I have 2 kids and one of them spends $100 on dinner and the other spends 80, what? What is this? What is this? Why? How is that your point of reference here? Yeah, how is a child spending $100 on dinner? Is it just pure like cocaine, just bricks of cocaine? I think it was just I think he was trying to make a point and it didn't happen. No, he's like 60. I'm sure he has. I'm sure his kids are like 20. So he might still have to feed them like babies. It really depends. Don't know what to tell you.
We've been talking about leaving in, leaving it out, and then finally we put it out.
No, you're making no sense. What transactional did it? No, I did no transactional. I tried to pass a conservative stopgap measure that secured the border and actually cut spending. When that didn't go, the only bill that was going was sitting over in the Senate that had a stopgap measure, disaster, and Ukraine. I made a decision as Speaker to keep the government open, and I...
Wait, Kevin, there's one way out of this. We've been discussing it all along. Just shit your pants. Go, Kevin, go! You should have just walked on stage, shat yourself, and escaped. You wouldn't have had to do this, Kevin.
Put something on the floor, and let me get this straight to all of you. Because someone said I just 72-hour rule? I'm the only one who's lived by it. We're the ones who created it. We never broke the 72-hour rule. The bill I put on the floor was a suspension, which takes a 2/3 vote. And
do a Roseanne. Do the quartering.
Suspension on a rule, and you can waive it based upon the leadership. That's exactly what I followed. So my question to you is, when somebody says something, don't take it that it's gospel. Why don't you ask them to point? When Gates said I didn't follow, said, show me one place. You saw Massey, Thomas Massey, who is the hardest line person, say we followed all the rules all the time. That he was in the room when the agreement was made, and then we surpassed what we said we would do. So if you ask me a question, I'm going to answer back, because when it's not true, it's not fair.
How important is it that the Speaker of the House be a member of the institution? Some members are floating in former President Trump.
They always float some of the yes, you had. Okay. First of all, you got to be in the institution to understand how it works. And look, it's legal to have somebody else. I just do not think that would ever be good. Do I regret? You start with this question. No, I don't think you've ever been positive on yet. But come on, I have.
You're getting fired, dude. You can't be mad at a reporter for asking you about regret as a concept.
High hope. This is going to be exciting. That's a good thing.
I actually don't think you're out yet. But do you regret not reaching out personally to people like Nancy Mace, Tim Burchett, who sat down on the House steps today and told reporters that you said something condescending to him?
Okay, let's get through this. I personally like Tim Burchett, and I called Tim Burchett because I read his quote. And Tim Burchett's a friend of mine, which I'm kind of shocked by this. And Tim Burchett, in his quote, said, he's leaning towards no, he's on CNN, but I'm going to pray about it. So I pick up the phone and call him, because I didn't think he was already there. I said, Tim, I read your quote. You said you're going to pray about it. I wanted to talk to you about it. And somehow he construes that, I'm a Christian. I'm not going to offend somebody. I simply read his quote back. I thought there was still an opening, and I wanted to talk to him about it. He never mentioned anything when we were communicating like that. And he said, Nancy Mace is a whole nother story. Okay? Let's just be honest here. This is the one that I just got a text from her primary opponent saying, "Why'd you spend $3 million?" But I called Nancy Mace's chief of staff yesterday, and because I called the chief of staff. Well, she was on The View saying I didn't keep my word, so I don't know what to listen.
This is.
I can't say.
These people just aspire to be soap opera characters. It's wild, dude.
It isn't the press, but okay. But so, no, you keep it among yourselves, right? Wait till my book. No. So I call her chief of staff because, I don't know, maybe I don't connect her with someone else, but I just said to him, I said, can you please tell me, I don't understand, where have I not kept my word? You know what her chief of staff said? You have kept your word, 100%. Members come to me, and one thing...
Yeah, no, unironically, Veep is sometimes more real than, like, actual politics.
I don't like the idea that a member comes and tries to leverage me. I don't go for that. You know, I'll vote for the bill you do. That's not well. But if you have a problem with the bill, I want to help you. But I can't sit there and write your entire bill and work it all the way through committee. We just got our one bill out. And it came back, the other bill doing on guns, it just wasn't working. Do you want to do something else? We did something else. I just don't appreciate. Look, I bite my lip. I let people say things that are not true, but it's not right. It is not right. Her chief of staff told all of us we have kept every single one of our words. And he said he's told her that too. Now, if somehow he gets fired, I'll still give him a job.
Last question.
Wait, I'm being too honest now?
Your argument about the health of the institution might have resonated with more Democrats if not for your response to January 6th. Do you regret it?
Oh, my God. No, but do I regret the Democrats playing games with January 6th? Yes. They played so many politics. What they did
all
to this
all the
institution,
games
what they did to
around
this building was
January
so wrong.
6th.
The idea that they put magnetometers there, the idea that they would go to any Republican member that they had been co-sponsors of bills and they no longer could be a co-sponsor, that they would find members 5,000.
Oh, people are bad about your party attempting a coup. I'm so mad.
$1,000 if the magnetometers went on, but when Nancy went around it or Clyburn was supposed to get a fine, it all got waived. The idea that bills didn't have to go through committee, the idea is they created a select committee on January 6th and they wouldn't let the minority appoint who to do it. Look, I'm trying to change all that.
That's a weird
and bring
noise.
the body back to they can work together. But I think they did a lot of damage to us. Yes, sir.
The House is trying to pass the immigration bills one by one. What are your expectations for the process now that you're not?
Well, that's always been my goal. You know, I just talked to Mitch yesterday, and I had to call into Schumer, and I talked to Hakeem last night. What I was going to do is, because we had taken 5 up, we passed 4 of them. I was going to start individually pre-conferencing so we can get this work done. I'm concerned with the timeline now. Look, I truly believe at the end of the day we can get this all worked out. I do believe at the end of the day we could find common ground and do something about the border. I don't know if this has caused problems. Look, I was doing Squawk today, and they had the other TV on, MSNBC. The first time I saw MSNBC running a whole story about the border with people just walking across. You know, Pritzker sent a letter yesterday.
Man, what possesses somebody to, like, have just lost their position within their political organization and still go on TV and talk about how, like, immigrants are evil? Even you lost, sir. Go home. Like, you don't got to do this right now.
About the immigration. Massachusetts governor, state of emergency. Connecticut. Everybody is becoming the #1. They cannot ignore it. And I had told my members all before, I heard Gates say something on the floor that, oh my God, Kevin asked for a stopgap measure when we came back. The whole plan was, because those 8 and a few more had held up passing any of these approach bills all summer, I was going to do just what we did Saturday, a stopgap measure with disaster.
So, yeah, just a heads up, anyone in the audience who might be watching from Baltimore, if you are around the 1700 block of Argonne Drive, please shelter in place. It's not good. Active shooter situation. So please, if you are in Baltimore, keep safe, okay? The university says, please stay clear of the area surrounding Thurgood Marshall Hall and the Murphy Fine Arts Center, shelter in place. So, just a heads up, please, look out for yourself, as it's a developing situation, and that's literally all the information I have. So, keep safe, please.
A stopgap measure with
Really?
disaster. I'd gone out to Hawaii. We looked what happened in Florida. Those people shouldn't be held back. And we could finish doing it all individually, but somehow they think that's a dirty word.
Look out for yourself, DePore.
Have you spoken with your family since this all went down this afternoon?
Oh, yeah, we Jackson Color. Oh, my poor mom. Have you guys met my mom yet? My mom's fabulous. My mom's this Italian lady. And she calls me the other day. She said, she gets worried. She reads what you guys write. And she says, I'm so nervous. I said, why, Mom? It's all right. She said, last night she went in the house and she left her car running in the garage all night long, right? And my mom only fills her car up once a week at Costco on Wednesdays, then calls me because the price, she still lives in California, the price of gas is so high. She asked me what I'm going to do about it. But look, I think this job is always harder on your loved ones than you yourself. So they'll be okay.
Did you make a side deal with the White House
No.
on Ukraine?
No. Look, unequivocally, no. Well, if you want to categorize this, let me see, because people think some big side deal. I did tell when we were doing the stopgap measure, there was a concern in there. Does it have transferability on money? I believed, and my staff believed it did, but what I did say to the White House, if it does not, if you think some way it doesn't do it the way you would, I will fix that. I did say that, and I did say I do it. Look, I support arming Ukraine. That doesn't mean sending them cash, but arming Ukraine. But I have been on the White House even
Based.
Before they sent this supplemental, I said, you guys are doing it all wrong by just sending us a supplemental. And I think the president is failing here because he's not telling the American public what is the mission. Now, we have a lot of members who are Navy SEALs who've been in theater and F-18 pilots, and they're frustrated. They want to support, but they don't want to support an ever-ending war. They want to see what's going on here. And I've really been on the White House. You've got to come down and talk to everybody, but you should listen to them and the prospects. I'm really concerned, though, long-term. What's happening around looks a lot like the 1930s. A lot of actions that Putin takes is
not necessarily wrong.
very similar to Hitler. If
Not
you
necessarily
are
wrong.
history buffs, you'll know Hitler served in the World War I army, right? He hated that his country collapsed and they signed the Treaty of Versailles. And what did he do? He ran and created a new party and ran in democracy again and again and again until he won. And when he won, what did he do? He took the freedoms away. And then he rebuilt his military, and even though it went against the Treaty of Versailles, the world powers said nothing. And then what did he do? He took part of Czechoslovakia.
Oh yeah, Shalhoub, I love TFT.
He took Austria. And then he told the entire world he's going to take the rest of it on a given day. So now the world power could not sit back, so in come Neville Chamberlain. But what had happened? Well, Hitler loved it because he was equal now to the world power, but he saw weakness. Neville Chamberlain made him sign a piece of paper and told us peace for our time. And then he invaded Poland the next year, and World War II began. If you study Putin, Putin didn't serve in the Soviet Union army, but he served in the KGB. He hated that his country collapsed to the West. He hated it so much when Gorbachev died, he still didn't attend the funeral. What did he do? He rebuilt his military. But he learned something. A military makes you strong, but dependency makes you weak. He rebuilt it by selling his natural gas to Europe. But when his pipeline that went through Ukraine, when they changed power, he didn't want to pay. So he proposed a new pipeline, Nord Stream 2. Everybody loved it. America at least sanctioned it. Merkel said, great. But what did he do when he rebuilt his military? Invaded Georgia, took part of the Donbass, took Crimea. And the world powers really didn't say much. But then when he parked 100,000 troops on the border of Ukraine, and after he watched Afghanistan collapse, that's going to give us challenges for the next 2 decades. He got his meeting with the world power.
I'm not gonna lie, it is kind of shocking to hear Kevin McCarthy have a better understanding of geopolitics than, like, Hasan. This is actually wild, dude.
So in comes Biden. And what does Biden do? He lifts the sanctions off Nord Stream 2, but asks nothing for it. Putin misreads that and invades Ukraine, thinking it would collapse in 2 weeks based upon Afghanistan. But now we have something even worse that's happened in the 1930s. Before Hitler moved, he created an axis of power, right? With Italy and Japan, all countries who wanted to expand their sphere of influence. Before Putin invaded Afghanistan, what did he do? Create an axis of power with China, North Korea, and Iran. All countries who want to expand their sphere of influence. So what we do here is very important. We can't sit there and just collapse it, because they'll look from Afghanistan. We can't just throw money at it. If we provide the weapons to be successful, but why it's so much personal to me, in
Gay Aaron, having watched hours of him now, it's definitely genuine. It's not an act.
2014 or 2015, when Putin invaded the first time, I went to Ukraine. And then I came back. And I took a bipartisan group, and we went to the White House. And we sat in the Situation Room with then the vice president who was in charge of Ukraine, Joe Biden. And we advocated, let's sell them javelins so they can stop tanks. So they wouldn't invade. He said no. He said Europeans wouldn't want it. I said, well, why don't we sell them to them now and keep them in Poland then? Didn't think that was right. And I fear of making the same mistake twice and sending the wrong messages. But the thing I would tell everybody is more Americans are dying on the southern border than are dying in Ukraine.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Each and every day, a plane of Americans crash from fentanyl.
A plane of America crashes. Fentanyl has become sentient. It is now hijacking our aircraft. Dude, this is so unhinged.
And I don't understand how the White House continues to ignore it. My whole plan, and I've been up front from the very beginning, what I would say, if you want anything on Ukraine, we got to do something with the border.
Mr. President, you mentioned earlier you regret helping get some of these measures.
I was joking. They're all right.
Considering supporting primary challenges to any of these 8 Republicans?
Well, you know, one of the things when I was running for Speaker, that said I couldn't get involved in primaries. But I told the conference I'm a free agent now, aren't I? I think I'm pretty good at electing people.
Mr. President, when was the last time you spoke to President Biden, and do you expect to now?
You know, I was thinking about that. It's been a long, long time. I couldn't remember when I spoke to him last. You know, I've worked with a couple different presidents. I would have thought, I thought we had built some respect for one another going through the debt ceiling. I know he got frustrated with me, but, and I have a great deal of respect for the people in his office I worked for. Rachetti and all them, I think they're, look, we have different philosophies.
Honestly, like, Enbiata, it's not that you're too socialist, it's just that you understand what socialism is. You know, like, it's really weird. It's really weird. Again, there is a bit of the tanky brain that's just contagious, and I think he's catching it. I hope it's not a fatal dose.
Have you heard of the game Grounded? I have been playing it lately and it's super fun. The game is like if Honey I Shrunk the Kids had a video game.
Oh yeah, I did hear about that. That looked really fun. I haven't checked it out at all, but yeah, maybe I will now. Thanks for letting us know, and thank you for the $5 dono. Thank you for helping to keep me alive. I really, really appreciate it.
Schwanza and the others, they're smart.
Can I get a TLDR on his recent bad take? We'll be covering it, so that will be the TLDR.
I respect them. They were honest, and I thought we made a good agreement. As a president, I would engage more. I think being hands-on, look, you're the leader of the free world. All the other presidents, I think bringing people together is a better way, talking through stuff. When you're in those rooms, you can talk about all sorts of things.
Do you think opening an impeachment inquiry into him and the behavior of his son might have contributed?
No comment, Salmon Moose.
To what part?
The part about you guys not communicating very much?
No, let's talk about that. You guys play, and remember what impeachment inquiry is. It is simply the ability to give the House, Republicans and Democrats, the power when you request for information. So if you were lawmakers, and I hold you in high esteem because you are investigative reporters in America, you're supposed to cover this stuff. When I came into power, I didn't know any of this. I did not know when he was vice president.
I did not know what I was doing.
His family created 20 shell companies. I had no idea about that. Not saying that's wrong. I did not know
Did someone not get the memo about shutting off your phones? I'm trying to retire gracefully here.
16 of the 17 payments from Romania while he was vice president, and he was supposed to be in charge of Romania. I didn't know that. I had no
Salmon
idea
Moose, Salmon and
when a
Trout.
whistleblower came to us and
The
said
audience of photographers
that the
and
FBI
reporters did not bring
has an
tomatoes,
informant
unfortunately.
they still pay, who claims that the president was bribed by $5 million. And what's interesting, we had to fight to get that document. And when we got that document, it said it would be hard to find because he has a lot of shell companies. Then I had no idea that IRS agents would come to us. How would I know? They'd come to us and say, look, we've worked for 16 years. We don't have any political basis on the other side, but we're concerned with what's happened here. That DOJ allowed the statute of limitations to run out. That they weren't allowed to interview Hunter because when they went and told the FBI, they told them. And then they even told the inaugural committee, I didn't know how that play in, that the DOJ would call Hunter Biden's attorneys and tell them that they didn't even know about a storage unit with all the papers before they could go there. The president told us he never had a meeting. He never talked to his son. Look, when he said he never talked to his son, I didn't believe that. And I don't think it's wrong if you talk to your son. I want you to talk to your kids about anything, right? Doesn't mean you're influencing something. But he literally, I had no idea that the partner to Hunter Biden that also served on the Ukrainian Energy Board said they would literally call into meetings. And then he said that they were getting a lot of pressure, Burisma, to do something about the Ukraine prosecutor. And I did know the president tell the entire country that he withheld $1 billion of American taxpayer money to get rid of the prosecutor. And then we found out that the president not only called into meetings, that he went to Cafe Milano. He went to Cafe Milano more times and met with the foreign business partners of Hunter Biden than he has gone to the border in 50 years. But with each meeting that you went to Cafe Milano, and I've never had this happen. I've been to Cafe Milano, but I've never gotten a new Porsche the next day, and I never got $3 million wired to me from a Russian oligarch. So if you knew all of that, would you at least say, I think there's more things. We've never asked for the tax or the bank statements of the president, of Hunter, or anybody else. And these 20 shell companies had credit cards that were being paid. Now, this laptop that was supposed to be Russian that we now found out was Hunter, in there, he did say his father would take the money from him. He did make, and we did find out that the president, I didn't know this when I became speaker, used another name while he was vice president for emails. And in one of the emails, it said that it only went to him and his son, Hunter, and it was about a phone call he was going to have with the president of Ukraine. Now, if you knew all of that, would you say, oh, I don't have any more questions? Or would you at least, as a lawmaker, and you have a role here, wouldn't you at least say, okay, well, we're going to have to go get some more documents. And if you're going to get more documents, I just want to make sure if they're going to fight it and string everything out, that we can get it. That's all impeachment inquiry. Now, if that made the president upset, maybe he shouldn't have lied to us from the beginning. Yes?
Thank you, sir. Former President Trump was very active in supporting you when you won the Apple calling members. Mr. Gates, I know you said Mr. Gates did not tell the truth on several things. You claimed today that the former president was supportive of what he was doing to remove you. What was your experience talking to him?
I doubt it. Yes, ma'am.
You've spoken about your fundraising prowess and the impact of that in flipping the majority this year. Last year, are you nervous that because of events today and general infighting within the conference, that the conference is at risk of losing the
Look, I didn't say that. I was just told that by Democrats in their conference. That's what helped them make their decision. That a lot of their frontline, I think their quote was, why would we help the person that becomes our executioner? So, I mean,
Do you think that today's events will hurt the conference's chances of expanding the majority in 2024?
no, I'm sure Matt Gaetz will give the NRCSC a lot of money. He raised a lot of money.
You mentioned that Gates' kind of grudge against you is personal. Why do you think he has this grudge? Why does he not like you?
I'm not quite sure. I don't need to find out either. Look, judge me by my enemies.
Have you spoken to the former president at any point today?
No.
So much of this area of strategy for one term has passed bills this year has been find consensus and the most conservative option, try and pass that, and then see if we can negotiate. Do you think that was the right tactic? Should Congress do that going forward, or would it be
Well, let me ask you this.
negotiate with Democrats earlier?
Let me ask you this. Would we ever gotten the debt ceiling? Schumer said never talk to us. Schumer went on a Sunday show, watch, Kevin's going to break. The president said he would never talk to me, that we just had to raise it. Had we not passed the bill, we never got it. So yes, I think it worked well. All right, yes.
What kind of role do you see
Well, no, I'll continue to help all the way possible. Look, I've been very fortunate. When I came to Congress in my second term, I got to be Chief Deputy Whip. I got to be Majority Whip. I got to be Majority Leader. I've been Minority Leader, and I've been Speaker. I've been blessed. And there's something about 10,000 hours. I believe in it, a lot of different experience. And I believe in bringing new blood up and helping them, and I want to help them all the way.
It's just shocking how full of nothing this interview was. It's actually kind of breathtaking.
Look, I enjoy you. I don't know if you'll cover me as much, but I'm sure I won't miss you, but see you soon.
So that is the official statement of Kevin McCarthy, having now lost his speakership position. And on the opposing side, of course, we have to listen to the words of the Honorable Representative Matt Gaetz, a terrible human being.
Speakership what was going through your head when the vote gaveled down and it was official McCarthy wasn't speaker?
Just we got to move to the next step. You know, we are not at the end of this process, okay? At most, we're approaching halftime. We've got to be able to assemble a governing coalition. We have to build from a place of trust. The reason Kevin McCarthy went down today is because nobody trusts Kevin McCarthy. Kevin McCarthy has made multiple contradictory promises, and when they all came due, he lost votes of people who maybe don't even ideologically agree with me on everything. Take, for example, my colleague from South Carolina, Ms. Mace. She has different views than I do on a variety of subjects, but what we had in common, Kevin McCarthy lied to all of us.
Hold on a second. You're saying that nobody trusts Kevin McCarthy. You're talking about, including yourself, about 7 Republicans compared to about 200 and about, some odd Republicans who actually do trust him. So can you kind of explain that?
Yes. Well, as it turns out, getting 200 Republicans to trust you isn't enough to stay.
I was muted. God damn it. Sorry. All I said was like, we have one thing in common, and it's that we're fucking crazy.
Speaker.
Compared to 7 Republicans
At this point, would you spoken to former President Trump about this since the ousting? Was he supportive of what you were doing?
I have spoken to President Trump over the last several days. The ousting only occurred several minutes ago, so we haven't spoken during
that time.
President Trump
put on Truth Social that he didn't think this was a good idea. He didn't want to see Republicans fighting with other Republicans. How do you respond to the former president?
I would say that my conversations with the former president leave me with great confidence that I'm doing the right thing.
Did the former president call you today? Did the former president call you today?
Which is very interesting, by the way, because it shows that, like, Donald Trump is empowering the even more fascist segment of the conservative movement right now, and that's should be deeply worrying, because Donald Trump is intuitively good at one thing, and it's being able to read a room. I think there's a reason why his rhetoric has been getting more violent and extreme lately.
I would say that the conservative agenda was being paralyzed by Speaker McCarthy. We hadn't even sent a subpoena to Hunter Biden. Our oversight was lackluster. Our spending priorities were misaligned. The top-line budget was going to lead to more inflation, more debt, more challenges. So the best way to advance the conservative agenda is to move forward with a new speaker.
So are you going to require that any future speaker elected allows the motion to vacate to stay at a one-person threshold?
Yes. I think anything that people have said before the McCarthy ouster is probably bearing less weight than the way people may be thinking about these questions after the McCarthy ouster.
You had some positive comments about Steve Scalise yesterday and today. Will you yourself nominate Steve Scalise for Speaker of the House?
Maybe. I want to hear from him. I mean, I'm not here to make a judgment on where Mr. Scalise stands with his rehabilitation and recovery. I would give him the deference to be able to decide whether or not he'd like to put himself forward as a candidate, but he'd be the type of person that I could see myself myself supporting. There are many people, though. I could see myself supporting Tom Emmer. I could see myself supporting Mike Johnson of Louisiana. I could see myself supporting Jody Arrington of Texas. I could see myself supporting Kevin Hern of Oklahoma. And there are even people outside of the United States Congress like Lee Zeldin, who are well thought of across every aspect of our conference. And I may give Lee Zeldin a call and see if he's interested in the gig.
When you talk to the former president,
You succeeded at pushing the House to move forward with the appropriations process as you wanted. You've succeeded.
Thank you for that acknowledgement, because I just heard on the floor a bunch of these McCarthy allies say, well, gosh, it's Kevin McCarthy who led us to this moment with single subject appropriations bills. And in fact, the only work we've gotten done has been with a political gun to the Speaker's
So you've
head.
gotten that accomplished.
The former Speaker, I should
You've
say.
gotten the Speaker out. So what's next?
Well, the next we got to elect a new Speaker. Sorry, guys.
how long do you think it's
Are you
going
running
to
for
take?
president in 2026?
No, excuse me.
If nobody you support can get to 18, how long does this go on?
What do you say to Mr. Trump, who says the infighting isn't helping? No comments, Mr. Trump, on his truth?
I made a comment about that earlier. You may have missed it.
All right, Heidi.
Oh, God. On his way to the next grope, you. Yeah, again, a lot of smug satisfaction off of Matt Gaetz today. Possibly deservedly so. He did take down the Speaker of the House. I guess, you know, he might not be smart enough to realize that that's not really useful for any constructive policy, but I'm guessing since he's a fascist, he doesn't really care that much about constructive policy. But as you guys all might imagine, or maybe not, who wants to take a stab in the dark about who saw all of this go down and thought, huh, that proves we've been right the whole time, ha! Can anyone recognize who that might be? We've got some other people coming out of the woodwork here. This time, not on the conservative end of the spectrum, actually. Trans Girl Jade. Shalhoun, Natalie Lush, you got it. All of the force the vote lefties are coming out of the woodwork to point at this and say, you see, Democrats, 4 years ago or 3 years ago were in the same boat. And Democrats and Republicans operate the same, you see. And so the force the vote movement could have gotten Nancy Pelosi out of office. It was a real threat to her power. And turns out, force the vote fizzled out. It became just kind of a personality cult for the likes of Brianna Joy Gray and Jimmy Dore. Honestly, they just keep bringing it up at every available opportunity. And they weren't right about it when they first came up with this idea, and they aren't right about it now. So we'll just go over a few of these, okay? We'll go over a few of these. Here's Sam Cedar reacting to Jimmy Dore saying, "Day after day, we are shown that force the vote was the correct strategy. And AOC and the fraud squad turned on their base and sided with the establishment. Imagine the energy, enthusiasm, and power to make demands the left could have had if they were more like Matt Gaetz and less like themselves. Don't forget that liars in the lefty media who slandered us and lied to protect crooked politicians, such as Cenk Uygur and Ryan Grimm." And Sam Cedar encapsulates this perfectly. We were joking on the show today that no one could be this stupid. And yet, this is the thing though, right? Like, to pretend that AOC and the squad had the same institutional ability to do what Matt Gaetz just did, and to also assume that even if they had, that would have had beneficial outcomes is wild to me. Those are leaps that make no sense whatsoever. Like, the Republicans aren't going to get anything done now. Like the trigger has been pulled. It's done. Gay Aaron, I really hope it's convincing people to vote blue, but also conservatives love government not functioning. It's one of their favorite things. Also, Jimmy Dore's just been going nuts lately. Now Ivana retweeted this, but it's a screenshot from Jimmy Dore's account. Bernie is now the willing face of evil. I honestly can't do the mental gymnastics it requires to not be sick to my stomach at the sight or mention of him. Can you imagine working for him now as he does this? He slanders peace activists, for fuck's sake. He's not only siding with actual Hitler Nazis right now, he's funding them. Jimmy, like, I need to be clear. Jimmy Dore is absolutely aware of the anti-Semitism that he fosters in his community, and it really comes out when he attacks Bernie Sanders, you know? What happened? Jimmy Dore attacked Bernie Sanders for essentially being someone who aids Nazis, and just as a reminder, Bernie Sanders is Jewish and also had family die in the Holocaust, so... You know, Jimmy Dore is doing this deliberately. He's not stupid. He knows exactly what he's doing. And, of course, along with this cohort, we have Brianna Joy Gray. Democrats gave up power largely because certain leftists were too stupid to understand politics and too smug, small, and petty to listen to those of us who did. A once-in-a-generation opportunity squandered. Really embarrassing stuff from the establishment left. And it's just like... Girl... I don't think you got the high ground on understanding politics. I don't think that actually is the high ground you can claim here. Real embarrassing stuff. Hello, everybody. Have you been enjoying stream today? Have you been enjoying news item? Consider dropping some subs or donos, and remember to hit the subscribe button over on YouTube and hit the follow button over on Twitch. Hit the like button on the YouTube stream too, by the way. It really does help the algorithm, and I would very much appreciate it. With that... It's time to duel. I've been enjoying looking at your pretty face. Thank you. To admit, it's refreshing to see Matt Gaetz fuck someone over 18. It's true. It's true. He saw Speaker McCarthy's age and just accidentally switched around the 8 and the 1. Rundo, no. Alright. Now, folks. One of Vosh's mods, named Thana, made a tweet basically saying, you know, calling out Hasan for his take on China's invasion of Tibet, and well, I guess Hasan briefly covered that on stream today, and we're just gonna take a look at this real quick. Thana writes, "No, Hasan, I'm saying you're treating East Asians like mythical creatures who are incapable of doing the same imperialism America does, which is racist. Your justification for liberating Tibet is no different than when the Imperial Japanese liberated Joseon by annexing them." Let's see what he said here.
Is this Hasan with the standard tanky racism where you treat East Asians like some magical race of superhumans who aren't doing the exact same imperialism we do in the West? He just wants a U.S. with a communist flag on it. What? I don't understand this. Like, does this person think it's like chill? Like we should go, like it's racist to say that there is a like any kind of liberation that could exist in an Asian country? Like, what the fuck is this? Hasan with the standard tanky racism where you treat East Asians like some.
Dude, it's. The issue isn't overthrowing a slave kingdom. And by the way, just even granting that it was a slave kingdom is just at face value accepting the propaganda of the Chinese government, which should maybe not be the go-to place for information on Tibet, considering that it's literally a crime to disagree with the party line on Tibet. So I don't know. It seems like maybe the whole preventing the free exchange of information thing going on here should give you some pause to maybe have questions about the sources on that one. But even granting that, like, the issue isn't liberating the people who were enslaved. That's good, obviously. The issue is then occupying the country for the next 70 or 80 years and, massacring people who protest that. That would be, those would be the problems inherent there. Not to mention the time, like 200,000 Tibetans died from the massive famine during the Great Leap Forward. So, I don't know, man. Yeah, KBS, honestly, I couldn't find a whole lot of sources on the situation, like the claim that like Tibet was this massive slave empire in the 1920s. Like, basically the Chinese dynasty ended. It crumbled, and then Tibet self-governed for like 50 years. But it's also like, I don't know, it was a complicated thing. I fell down the rabbit hole earlier today, and I really wanted to talk about it. It just seems like even if you bought it at face value, the issue is the occupation and the killing of protesters and the locking down of information, and that being all the case, like, buying the party line also just seems really weird, even if you grant the rest of it. I don't know. I'm just saying. Yeah, yeah. One of the pitfalls of pratfalls of himboism. I like pratfalls better. All right. We're gonna watch a Hasan segment, okay? Because I found one where he talks about Taiwan. And he goes over a video about what Taiwanese people think about China. And this came out a year ago. Let's dive a little bit deeper into this position that Hasan has on Taiwan.
In Russia.
Okay, I don't care about that. All right, let's watch this.
Bridging social and cultural gaps between Asia and the world. That's why we conduct all these street interviews that are super difficult to execute, because we believe that it's always best to hear directly from the people to take the accurate pulse of the public, regardless of what they believe or how well-informed or ill-informed they may be. Well, today's topic is something that we've been repeatedly asked to cover. As our U.S.-China relations continue to deteriorate...
Can't we find Jubilee instead? No, the DMCA now.
But let's be honest, most of us have absolutely no idea what's going on in Taiwan or what Taiwanese people are thinking. Isn't that the job of the media to find out? So our team was able to hit the streets of Taipei and ask ordinary Taiwanese people what they think of China. Again, if you still didn't know, we do not have any political affiliations. We're not left or right. We're not pro or
Hell yeah, brother.
anti-anything.
None of that pussy
You know
shit.
what we are? Curious. Just like so many young people around the world who genuinely wants to learn and understand what's going on in Asia through people's voices. So here we go.
其实最近台湾的新闻蛮常被国外的媒体报道的。那平常有在关注一些相关国外的报道吗？有的。
What should the U.S. be doing about the Taiwanese conflict? Shut the fuck.
I can't wait.
Fuck up about it and don't rock the boat. That's what they should be doing about it.
What does that mean?
But they can't. They can't stop it. They have to. They have to like.
What?
They have to fucking. They recognize Chinese dominance. They don't like it, and they're gonna use anything and everything they can.
多多少少。
Well, yeah, they don't like the Chinese dominance because if the United States was not de facto supporting the status quo situation right now, the delicate diplomatic situation of Taiwan, China would absolutely invade Taiwan, like 100%.
有。我非常重视，就是国外对。
Oh yeah, this is going to be maximum America bad. You guys have only been experiencing Hasan, his China takes as modulated for Ethan. This is just him in his chat, man.
台湾的报道，
在那个社交媒体上会看到很多，或是 YouTube 上会有就看到那个国外对台湾的想法之类的。
像会报道到的就是两大方面，第一方面是中国的武力侵犯台湾，就是他们的飞机的军机，然后侵犯到我们的航空领界线。然后第二个就是台湾的半导体。
那各方对台湾的主权有很多不同的立场和见解，像中国大陆很清楚地表明台湾是他们的一部分，但是我们也经常在西方媒体听到说台湾是一个独立的国家。所以作为一个生活在台湾的当地人，你觉得台湾媒体传递的讯息比较偏向哪一种？
我觉得都有因为台湾是一个民主的社会，所以很多不同的立场跟。
Sir, I don't think your one country can lean both ways. I don't know that can work that way. I'm sorry.
方式都大家可以接受这样子。
就是我们目前台湾就是讲蓝绿嘛，在我们感觉上是比较偏向绿的方面，就是。
Abyssaliss and Lily Love Stuff, Archangel. Yeah, I dropped like 240 frames. It should go back to normal.
是属于民进党方面的，至于蓝的这一方面呢，新闻媒体是比较少，蓝的是比较支持统一，就是现阶段是支持。
So has Hasan figured out that Taiwan is not in fact 1 mile off the coast of China? Not yet. Waiting for the day.
维持。
Thank you, Show Sleepy ZZZ for the 5 good subs.
然后未来的目标就是统一，那绿的话呢，就是比较支持独立。
台湾当地的媒体其实有很多不同的角度，但是我个人看完之后，其实台湾的媒体传递的讯息很多是扭曲，而。
What is this new Austinox? POV, you posted about a 35-year-old man who wanted to fuck high schoolers because of their lack of sexual experiences on Twitter.com.
What? Austinox does make banging edits. Nope.
And saying the wildest.
I just get back to your foreign policy takes, silly. You silly goose.
that he in certain instances, at least in practice, is applied to a 17 or 16-year-old. Okay. All right, let's continue.
Yeah, the video topic changed suddenly. Like somebody just sent him a thing. He went there. The editor didn't edit that out. You know, happens.
偏向他自己所谓的角度，其实大部分媒体传播的
Hey,
角
boiled
度其实
peanuts.
很有很大的问题的，而且
We are brain rotting at the moment.
都是某层面上看起来根本就是违法的，而且违反是
Also, hope you're doing
中
well.
华民国的法律嘛。其实大部分的媒体到现在目前为止都搞不清楚，我们目前真正的国号叫中华民国，英文叫 Republic of China, so it is a China, but they don't want it. 所以大部分人都搞不太清楚这件事情。那所以我觉得媒体连这件事情都搞不清楚的时候，后面他们传递的讯息，其实可信度多少就。
What is the video here that he's reacting to?
Hey everybody, it's Steven.
Asian Boss. What is this channel?
Hey everybody.
Maybe it looks like maybe a South Korean outlet. Real people, real voices. Real. This is a much bigger outlet than I assumed. Huh. Where did it come from? Yeah, it doesn't really say much. Interesting.
Hey everybody, it's Steven from
No.
Asian Boss.
All right, let's
Hopes
watch
of
this.
bridging social and cultural gaps between Asia and the world. That's why we conduct all these street interviews that are super difficult to execute, because we believe that it's always best to hear directly from the people to take the accurate pulse of the
of China, so it is a China, but they don't want it. 所以大部分人都搞不太清楚这件事情。那所以我觉得媒体连
Boiled
这件事情都
peanuts.
搞不清楚的时候，后面他们
I
传递
always
的
love you
讯
in
息，
chat.
其
It's great
实
seeing
可
you.
信度多少就各凭自己的了解跟认知了。
如果以台湾的媒体报道来看的话，我觉得大部分台湾的媒体是比较主张台湾独立的。那也因为现在我想台湾的媒体目前我不认为是非常公平、非常平衡的报道啦，所以我想在台湾的人民应该听到了很多，大部分是属于台湾要独立的讯息吧。这应该是我们蔡总统传达出来的讯息。
他也没有说台湾是中国的、但他也没有太表明，因为他也不敢表明自己的立场吧。我觉得可能因为有政治的利益关系，所以不敢去讲自己该想讲的话。
我绝对是能理解他的做法，因为身为一个国家领导人，我觉得太激进、太冲的话，可能也是会很容易引发国家之间的战争。
Boiled peanuts does rule.
个人觉得台湾是独立的吗？还是你觉得我们是他们的部分？
我自己个人认为台湾是独立。
Okay, I mean this video seems like it's getting a decent number of people on the street being like, you know, seems like a decent spread of opinions.
但是我不认为台湾在这个国家被国际认还已经被认可。
It's not.
对，就是还没有到达officially 独立。对我来说，我觉得跟
but it's not though. Like what? Just I mean, but they're just saying what they want for their country. That's fine.
跟中共的密切关系绝对是能带来经济很好的成长，但是我又不希望台湾原有的这个民风淳朴的这个好的文化被他们破坏掉，因为我非常知道，如果他们统治了之后会变怎么样子，所以我还是希望我们能够保有言论自由跟台湾。
So that's the thing, like, for the most part, it's.
Did you see Keffel's ex coming out about abuse allegations? Not sure how true or not they are, though. I did not see that. No. So no comment, I guess.
It's not dissimilar to the Hong Kong stuff, where one of the major points of contention is Chinese.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a
social
wait and
control.
see.
Okay, that is a gigantic problem.
Because I don't know much about, like, you know, relationship stuff in the online left, but you know, things can be real complicated. I'd rather know the details, let it play out a little bit. Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's true.
I gotta say, given how many leftists in this circle end up embroiled in controversy, I am always shocked by how well you avoid drama. Well, you know, it really helps that I'm just generally correct about things. You know, it that helps. The other thing that helps is just, like, when I am embroiled in controversy, it's usually over something really stupid that I'm correct about, but people are angry that I'm being correct about it. So, yeah, I can't help that.
It is a huge part of the process. A lot of people.
I saw Keppel say Second Thought, the YouTube channel, is tanky. Is this true? I like Second Thought. I think that it has a tendency in that direction. I haven't watched enough videos to know. I've seen a few of them. Some of them seemed good. I just maybe the best way to figure that out would be to watch some of their videos about involving, like, foreign policy or something, you know?
Understand the economic power of aligning with China will bring, right? And they have been. That's the reason why it's just like that's the reason why it is perfectly fine for many of these people to say, like, yeah, we have a relationship with China. Of course we have to have a relationship with China.
The podcast is definitely tanky. The Nebula content. I don't subscribe to Nebula, so I have no idea about that stuff.
Except the Chinese social control is incredibly.
You all need to see the video on Ukraine that Second Thought made for the CPUSA. Oh, yeah, that string of words. Yeah, okay, yeah. Sorry, boiled peanuts. I think he might be a tanky. Yeah, I don't even need to have watched that video to know it was probably not great. My rear end, if you wanted to share a link of that in chat, I would go over it. I'd go over it this stream.
Authoritarian. And it's true. It is incredibly authoritarian. There is make no mistake on that. Okay? And that is precisely the reason why so many people are like, no, fuck that. Of course, that would mean doom and gloom for us. Okay? Oh my God, you admit it? Wait, what? Dude, I feel like people never hear what I ever say. Like, people never fucking hear what I say and just assume what my positions are and just go along with it and then get mad. And then when I regularly and routinely admit things that I have said time and time again, you're like, what? Would you ever travel to China? Fuck yes. I absolutely would.
Okay, do it. You're loaded. Just go. You could literally go tomorrow.
Yeah, I would love for that.
This is old Hasan content from like a year ago, but given his current positions, I figured we'd take a look at it.
Sana salata ısmarladım. İstediğin o hep yediğinden. Okay. All right, let's move on.
If someone finds me the Second Thought CPUSA video, I'll cover that. Also, chat, I've been streaming for 2 hours now. If you would be so kind, it'd be lovely if some of you could donate some subs or throw my way some subs or donos, because those are what allow me to survive, and I really, really appreciate you guys supporting me. I know today's kind of a chill stream, but I'm excited for tomorrow, and I don't know. I hope you are too. Hasan got his start at TYT. Yeah, Hasan is Cenk's nephew. What is a tanky and why is it a bad position? So tankies are another term for Marxist-Leninists who defend authoritarian.
Even my father doesn't stand China as much as Hasan does.
Authoritarian governments. Kyrie, thank you for gifting a sub to All Seeing Dude. I appreciate that immensely. And the tip off there, Mix Lexi DM, is that Marxism-Leninism was a synthesis that Stalin came up with to justify his authoritarianism. And it's not a good ideology. It's essentially a carte blanche to do, fascism and engage in the perpetuation of capital just run by the state as opposed to run by the workers. And so, again, something being run by the state is not the same as the means of production being controlled by the workers in their own workplaces. And that's kind of the big problem, because like leftism and socialism, communism are predicated on ideas of like democratic self-governance. They're predicated on the idea of being able to work together with your coworkers to create a more egalitarian workplace. And that flies in direct opposition to authoritarian top-down systems that I would argue also just have unpleasant byproducts. Like, Mao created a famine that killed like, what was it? Was it 100 million people? Like, I don't know. And like, ML's tankies will just unironically defend that. Be like, oh yeah, that was bad, but what are you gonna do? It's like, well, maybe not kill 100 million people in a famine.
Always good to see white names for me to destroy.
Which, by the way, would probably have been clear if the workers were running their own workplaces. The workers were running their farms and such, instead of the state running all of that. But that's just me. Anyway, that should explain it a little bit. Tankies, it's just shorthand for fascists or authoritarians who dress themselves up in the aesthetic of communism/socialism.
The Hasan arc is pain.
Abyssal List, thank you for the $5 dono, and Kyrie, thank you for gifting a sub to Murasame.
变成了很可怕这样，或者说是新疆已经沦陷了嘛，新疆就是已经很可怕了。那我现在就是还在看香港这样。
我觉得台湾一定是独立的国家，我们就是一个独立的小岛，但我也不会。
This is the will you say Putin is bad discourse all over again? Yeah. Notice how like the fucking foreign policy heads are the most annoying chatters too, because like they always abide.
Yeah, like Mix Lexi DM. There's a large degree of contempt on the left for people who sell out to authoritarian ideology, and it's just kind of an insult for people. Well, also accurately kind of like capturing the essence of their ideology.
Abide by the same exact fucking tactics. If China stops its threats the very next day, I would bet most Taiwanese persons will be shouting, "We are Taiwanese" from rooftops. We are already independent. We just can't say it because of a big bully.
Yeah, well, they can't say that they're independent because if they do, China will destroy them. That's I don't know what's hard to figure out about this.
Okay. Sure. How do you understand what they're saying? I don't speak Taiwanese. Oh, good one, dude.
就是我也不是所谓的台独立场，我觉得其实维持现状也蛮好的，因为我们现在该有的权利或者是什么，然后国际
CPC claims the reason for Chinese social control is to defend themselves from U.S. interference. What's your response to this? I mean, it's the same as like fucking Cuba. It's the same as all of.
No, it's not the same as Cuba, my guy. You know that. Cuba's a small island country, like off the coast of America, and it has been completely like blockaded and embargoed for like the last 100 years. Like, this is not the same at all. China is a world superpower with nuclear weapons. The infantilization, man.
These other countries that we have declared authoritarian, and there is authoritarianism in that kind of social control. Obviously, I am a preferrer. Okay, my preference is the neoliberal method of control, the creating the idea that there is like some kind of free flow of information. And
I just have to stop for a second. These are not the same system. Like, it's not like, oh, that's an authoritarian aspect of their society. They have. What are you talking about? It's a one-party dictatorship. There's not political opposition, my guy.
And you know, free information wins out ultimately, right? I believe that. I love that. That's what I advocate for. Okay? But the reality ultimately confirmed neoliberal. Yeah, I mean, this is another admission. Oh my God, something I've been saying for many, many fucking years. So that is my personal preference because, like, I am a socially liberal person, right? So I obviously believe in you know, degeneracy, hedonism, all that good stuff. And I do think that that is a great way to keep the population calm. And a lot of you dumb bitches unironically fucking exist in that society and constantly shit on it because you have this like mythologized fantasy fucking worldview of like what it would look like if there was authoritarian control where they cast all your enemies into the fucking fire.
Mao literally did that. What are you talking about? My guy. Come on. Oh, where your political opponents just get tossed into the fire. They arrest you if you disagree with the state line, my guy.
You know what I mean? Call me a dumb bitch one more time. Okay, dumb bitch.
实际上其实也是蛮认可我们的存在。
台湾就已经是一个独立的国家了，就是我们已经有我们自己的一些制度啊，然后我们的法令啊，那我们也有我们自己的这个
一个神啊。
Yeah, again, this is a year ago. I wanted to see like how far back this goes. Like this is from a year ago, chat.
所以我一直不了解台湾是一个独立的国家这个 statement 跟这个 theory 到底是哪里来的。就算在目前民进党执政的状况底下，中华民国宪法也从来没有动过一分一毫啊。它的疆域也是非常清楚的啊。我们的宪法也没有改名自己要变成中华民国台湾。
所以你觉得，所以你个人觉得
He's about to say, I think Taiwan is a part of China because Taiwan is the Republic of China. He keeps saying it's the Republic of
台
China.
湾是中国的一部分。
Yeah, which is a different country.
应该说两岸是中华民国的一部分。
因为我觉得我们也没有太
Yeah. No, he's saying like China is West Taiwan. Like there is no difference. Like that's how it is. Believe it or
Yeah, that is what both sides say. Only one side is capable of actually making that true.
or not, that's the real take. No, I know, I do believe it. What do you mean? I know that that's the take. I don't know why people fucking unironically think that that's not the case. But that doesn't mean anything because like there are people who feel that way, feel that like that's the unification, that's a real unification. Okay. But that position is not like I wouldn't say that that's like a very popular position. But I do think that that is a position that is as he stated, isn't it still the position within its constitution?
What?
Left is saying base, then you wonder why people saying this chat is lib. No, people are saying that this is base because they don't understand what the fuck the man is explaining because they don't have anything, much like Americans.
I gotta be honest though. I don't think Taiwan is terribly interested in controlling like the Chinese mainland. Like I don't think they're interested in that. If you gave them the option to just be independent, I think they would be very happy with that.
Congratulations, you've successfully turned 48% of chat against you for one nuance take and another.
Yeah, my rear end, he's basically regurgitating the position from like, 40 years ago.
48 against you for a different nuance take. Us and the remaining 4% are not going to remain silent and say nothing, so we don't suffer too much from the reads you're about to receive.
太依靠像我们也没有太依靠他们的资源，或者我们也有出口给他们，所以我觉得我们算是可以独立自主的一个国家啦。对啊，因为大陆的话也蛮仰赖我们一些，比如说科技业啊或什么的资源，所以我觉得我们可以算独立。
那你觉得台湾有多少人的想法会是跟你一样的？
我觉得应该有60-70%吧，应该有吧，因为年轻人，对，我觉得应该有个60-70%。
所以你身边的朋友啊，你的同温层也是这样觉得？
差不多，
都不觉得。
So Taiwan increasingly sees, like, the citizens of Taiwan increasingly see themselves as Taiwanese as opposed to Chinese. The government was predicated and founded essentially by China in exile, under that kind of a concept. That's not what it is really considered to be in any real sense now.
觉得我们是中国的一部分。
对，应该基本上是这样。
那你个人对于中国大陆的观感是什么？对他们的人民或是政府有没有什么印象？
其实中国大陆，我觉得这几年发展的真的是很厉害，然后也是蛮快速的。他们在硬体建设上是真的不得不佩服，特别是在无论是他们的桥梁，或者是建造，或者是高铁的建造，任何的，还有包括武器。这些都是硬体建设蛮厉害的，但是在软体方面，譬如说人民的素质、教育，特别是医疗，那么还有种种的一些环境卫生，这些可能就会需要很加强，要非常加强了。是，
我觉得人民就其实蛮友善的啊，因为其实我觉得就是中国人并不差。
Paladin, you did. Basically, just made fun of Kevin McCarthy for an hour. It was great.
首先，我不会叫他中国大陆，我会叫他中国。
Quasi-Spec, thank you for subscribing over on Twitch and helping to keep me alive. I very, very much appreciate it. Especially as we go into a new month and having just paid my rent and health insurance. So thank you very much.
我的印象嘛，第一个我没有去过中国，然后第二个是厌恶，第三个是恐惧。因为当这个政权，对，有人会说你要把这个政权跟下面的人分开，但是当整个政权它一直
You think China is better than the U.S. in terms of infrastructure and healthcare? I mean, I can't speak for healthcare, but infrastructure, yes. What? The fuck?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of their infrastructure has been built more recently, so it tends to be better.
Yeah, dude, it's like not even a question. What the fuck? Like, we're not even fucking up. This is not even a up for debate. Like, American healthcare is pretty dog shit too, but it's not like healthcare is not exactly wonderful in China either. But as far as infrastructure, bro, yes. Yeah, like that's not even a question.
整天到晚在威胁你，整天到晚在跟你说要打过来的时候，你很难不对他产生防卫心，你很难会想要说我也要去了解你。
那很多人会说
Go
我
kiss
们
her?
的文化上很相近。
You're right. I'll go kiss my love. My seahorse true love. Love you. Oh my god, yes. Yes. Might be better later. Peak hours. Cool. I did it, chat. I kissed my true love. Now you all must pay $5 in donos. I'm sorry, I don't make the rules. It's the love toll. So sorry about that.
像我们讲一样的语言啊，然后
Fucking
它有很多
gay
类似的习俗。
True.
那作为一个台湾人，你觉得你和中国人有什么关联吗？
我想某一程度的文化应该还是有一些相似点。那当然每个区域当然有自己的在地的一些文化。
I'm actually kind of shocked at the lack of like input he's giving on these videos.
那这个可能跟他们也有比较不一样的地方。
现在目前的论述，很多人说，台湾人是独立的民族，或是独。
We need a look. We need a Hasan clips channel that just clips out all of the content in between what Hasan says.
独立的什么？不好意思，目前台湾人的主体是汉人。如果一个人他不是台湾原住民的话，以目前的政治论述来说，他是没有资格讲他自己是台湾人的。 因为我们都是汉人啊，大部分人台湾目前的所谓本省人，都不是本省人，真正的本省人是原住民啊，就如同美国人在屠杀印第安人的时候，然后堂而皇之的把美国人冠在自己头上，是一样的道理啊。比如说把这些人口全部干掉了，以后主体就变成我了，所以这个我觉得还是主要台湾现在的问题啊。
Oh, Kyrie.
ANSGIRL Jade says hi to Clarice.
Well, trans girl Jade says hi to you, Clarice. She says. And, Kyrie, thank you very much for being a real oiler on this show. I for one, extraordinarily appreciate it. Thank you.
这才是真正的转型正义要讨论的事情。
就我认同，我们都是一个华人大家庭，我们是个种族，我们应该 help each other， 我们要 gather。我们在经济上，或者说是。
Yeah, their existence is literally predicated on the status quo, so like, it's really not surprising at all that this is the situation it is in, you know?
都应该要互相合作，在帮彼此。像最近有一个电影叫《上汽》，它虽然是中国人演的，他们也想要打入。
All over the world, join in. Pay for a love train. Love train.
Love train. Love train. People all over the world join hands in a love train. Love train.
中国市场，但是作为我是台湾人，我看到一个华人英雄出来的时候，虽然很明显他们是讲的亲共，但是我自己内心我还是觉得说，哦 ，I'm so proud of it， 就是我是一个华人，我们还可以当 Marvel 英雄这种感觉。
我的看法是不见，就是说大家一直在强调什么。
He said they're one race. What do you mean? They are though. What the fuck? Like, I mean, technically they are. They're Chinese, bro. Like, what do you? Are you just like? I hate to fucking agree with like.
I mean, yeah, but like their race has nothing to do with it.
The fucking it's actually, I mean, Han is an ethnicity. Okay, well, they're as far as racial dynamics goes.
Hey, boiled
yes,
peanuts.
They're Asian, and as far as ethnicity goes, they're in many instances they're you know, they're Chinese.
Yeah, you guys got a 6x combo. I'm so proud of you.
Taiwan is ROC is built on the repression and oppression by KMT and thus inherently reactionary. Look at white terror.
Paladin, I did as well. Yeah.
Why are you getting upset about that?
I don't know. I haven't watched a ton of Hasan content. It's so weird to hear how like he is so supportive of these authoritarian governments. It's very bizarre. It's very at odds with the rest of his rhetoric.
并不一定就是讲同样的国语，就是说普通话或者是国语，就是
He said Han Chinese, not Chinese, bruh. You are not being real, Lamont. Okay, Han Chinese.
一定是一个同一个国家。那
There are indigenous
比方
people in
说
Taiwan.
加拿大他们也是讲英文，不是吗？那跟美国
Kyryu
的之间的一个关系。
Thank you very
就是
much
所以
for the
我
gifted
一直
sub to
我
boiled
一直觉得
peanuts.
说
Chat, just for the good of Kyryu's bank account, please, more of you need to gift subs and donuts because Kyryu can't shoulder this burden alone all the way to Mordor.
他们一直在强调同文同种，我们都是同样的祖
They
先。
think the Chinese nation is one race made up 56 ethnic groups united by Han culture. It's very scary.
What? Did
What
he
would
just,
you rather have?
did he just read that comment and then have like no thoughts?
Have it be as and I'm not saying this is a contentious in a contentious way, but I do wanna know like why is it like
VCC TV, I hope you get your job soon. It's okay. But if any of you happen to be a descendant of the Rockefellers, you let me know, okay?
Taiwan belongs to Albania? Changed an ethnic policy in 2017 away from a Soviet-style policy of ethnic. They changed the ethnic policy.
Okay,
in
that was a cute
2017
selfie.
away from a
Mission
Soviet-style
accomplished.
policy of ethnic autonomy. You're still not describing what looks different. The Han Chinese race is an OP though. It was always an amalgamation of various
Oh,
other
God,
ethnic
I'm
Asian
sorry,
peoples used as
Sashi.
propaganda to fortify their nationality. No, it is their way of centralizing power. In Turkey, we had alt kimlik. That was like the comparison, which of course was also quite controversial.
Oh, Fox of Fate, no. All of my selfies not created equal. They are not all equally cute. At all. I wish they were. That'd be an amazing superpower.
Which is the claim that like you are
What?
Turkish no matter what, right? You're
Oh,
Turkish,
shape-shifting, 100%.
But you have other underlying like ethnic separations. You can abide by those
That
cultures,
would-
but
okay, that
ultimately
would
you're
be
still
terrible.
Turkish at the end, right? And it was obviously against the Kurdish population. In the United States of America, we don't even think about it at all. Because every single
Shape-shifting,
culture
100% every time.
assimilates into American culture, which is an amalgamation
Even
of
if I could
all
never
of
take
these
a
other
cute
cultures.
selfie. Yep.
And it is never seen as like a contentious subject.
I know. Wild.
By the third generation, every single fucking person that has immigrated into the United States has become an American. Okay?
I wish I was a Rockefeller.
The only distinction of who
Sorry. Okay. Back to this.
who is not an American is made on the boundaries of your skin color, exactly, or some of the ethnic differences that oftentimes are heavily racialized. You get it? Pan Mongol reunification is the only good take. China belongs to the
What?
Turks. Actually.
可是毕竟已经就是分
See, by the way, this is partly what makes, I think, him so hard to identify for people. You know, he's like He'll like follow up saying just insane unhinged shit, and he'll follow it up by saying, "Oh yeah, and you know China belongs to the Turks." Ha ha ha. You know, it's like a little tee hee thing, and it like undercuts like the seriousness of what he was saying before, and yeah, I don't know, just odd stuff going on here.
开这么久了，我们都有创建我们自己的文化了。那，一个这么民主自由的国家，怎么可能会跟他们一样？
那你觉得年轻的台湾人和老一辈的人
wild card GOS. The rainbow doesn't belong to God, it belongs to me. Now, as your new god and owner of the rainbow, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to start being gay. That's just how it is now, because I, a queer, own the rainbow and could also kick your ass. So, you know, get some sleep, you got school tomorrow. Oh, just say it with your chest, my guy. If you're gonna say slurs, spell them right. God. I'd like to see you try.
在中国这个议题上
I mean, you're the one being a fucking weirdo, guy. If you were like to come up to me in public, like literally everyone within earshot would kick your ass. It wouldn't just be me; it'd be everybody. Because you know you're saying things like a guy who needs an ass kicking. I don't know. I'm sorry. People just generally don't take very kindly to people who shout slurs at people. It's just not typically a thing people like. You like shit dick. You like shit dick. I'm trying to like shitty dick, because that's actually a great insult to use against ladies. You like shitty dick. Your taste in men is terrible. Fuck. I love trolls. God bless you. And as we said before, your new god is me because I own the rainbow. So go, my child. And fuck ass. Poop on your dick, retard.
上面的看法会不
Oh my guy, I don't think you know where shit comes out of. What? Poop. I'm just gonna read this out loud for you. Poop on your dick, retard. Oh fuck. I don't know. I'm pretty flexible, but even that one might be a little hard for me. Yeah, as we all know, poop is stored in the balls. Troposphere, thank you for subscribing with Prime. I'm very happy right now.
不会有世代上的差距？
哦，那肯定会有世代上的差距啊，因为老中青三代的这个想法都不同。老有老的想法，中间年代有中间年代的想法。现在年轻人我们没有办法去，因为
What's happening? Oh, a guy came in to call me a faggot, and he got really mad that I wasn't furious. Oh.
因为他们接触的这种
Yeah, I'm the one that's really a threat here, and not the guy shouting about shit things. He's asking if you agree with shit dick, as in you like getting men's shit on your dick. Is there really an agreement or a disagreement here? Like, do I disagree that one's dick could have shit on it? I'm. Oh wait, maybe he's asking if I would fuck his ass. That makes a lot of sense.
知识层面比较广， 所以有可能他的这个观念会比较新潮一点这样。
Oh, fuck. That was great. Thank you for coming in.
可能我在猜想老一辈的他们还是
Oh, true, Friendo. What about girl shit on the dick? Is that a different type of shit? No, it's not. All shit is shit. Oh, true. A lot of trolls do think that girls have cooties and don't poop. That's true.
还是比较愿意去接受这个中国大陆那边的这个思想吧，可能是这样吧。
我以前受的教育就是，我们要反攻大陆，然后我们要解救大陆的同胞。那我的孩子他们念的那时候，因为已经教改过了教育的版本，我们以前是国立编译馆。
Like the thing is, even if Taiwan,
like my tits, by the way, thank you very much. Not in use. They are very nice. I recommend them, but only for one person on this earth.
Wants to democratically organize towards independence, and that is what the majority of Taiwanese people, or the plurality, I guess, of Taiwanese people want. After, not the plurality, but what Taiwanese people want is the majority, the overwhelming majority of Taiwanese people either want to not rock the boat. And
not yet. I haven't
a smaller portion of that, much smaller, much more marginal portion of that wants to not rock the boat and work towards unification with China. Okay, which is a tiny, minuscule portion of this. A much larger portion of that wants to not rock the boat and continue with the current association and move towards independence. And another group of people want to not rock the boat indefinitely. Okay.
When is chat not horny? I don't know, but if you're gonna be horny, you gotta pay the horny tax, chat. Which is why you need to drop subs and donos today.
But ultimately, they all believe in not rocking the boat, and Nancy Pelosi going to Taiwan.
Yeah, well, they all believe in not rocking the boat because not rocking the boat is the only thing that prevents the entire situation from devolving into a war. Hasan, that's why they all believe in not rocking the boat, because if the boat were to get rocked, there would be a war.
Taiwan is rocking the boat. That's it. So that dramatically undermines the interests of the actual people there. People in the chat unironically saying balkanized China as if balkanization of the USSR or Yugoslavia wasn't a gigantic disaster. Yeah, I mean, that is what they are advocating for, because that would be greatly beneficial to America's interests. China would not be a global hegemonic power, and it would completely destroy their economy in its entirety. And that is precisely why, yes, foreign policy advisors would like that, yeah.
Well, say peacock, and no one bats an eye. Say poopcock, well, everyone loses their minds. Batman, riddle me that!
然后后来可能整个都改编过了，有纳入台湾的历史，所以年轻人会更清楚、更了解。那我们那时候完全不懂，就认为，我那时候真的也认为，我们有一天就是要统一，然后可能就都要回到中国大陆去，中国是属于中华民国的。
我反而不会用年龄层来判断这件事情，我反而会觉得它受到大数据跟演算法的影响有多深。
The Pelosi visiting Taiwan rocks the boat, but China constantly sending fighter jets across Taiwan Strait and into Taiwan's air defense zones rocks the boat too. Yes, it does. Also, on top of that, is Taiwanese airspace being literally still directly on top of or underneath Chinese airspace would probably be one of the other reasons for that.
What? Rundo! Good night.
我有见过不止10个台湾的年轻人，他是能够比较正向的，或者是说比较中立的去看两岸的这些关系跟时事的。但我有遇到年纪很长的长辈，他们面对到大陆的时候，就是对方是邪恶的，对方是错误的，对方是水深火热的。所以我觉得反而是这些观众或者这些一般的民众跟选民，他们接收他们自己选择跟平常自己生活环境所接触到的资讯来源，会直接影响他到对于整个两岸还有对大陆的视野跟角度。
那假如说你现在要去中国玩或是出差，你是有办法自由出入他们的边境的吗？就可不可以有没有什么特殊签证？就稍微解释一下。
我们有台胞证。对，就是我们不能拿台湾的护照过去，我们要有一个台胞证。它以前是一个证书，但是现在变成一个卡。那个小卡就是说，你可以进出这样。对，那我忘记是不是要自己去办，还是要怎么样？就有一些手续，额外手续。那个时候是旅行社帮我办的。
你有试过，就是如果你在入境的时候拿护照，他们会怎么样？
这个不敢试。
就是不行，怕出事。
对啊，就是护照这个东西。
Taiwan airspace has more population of mainland China's Fujian than Taiwan's whole population of 25 million. The tricky question is that the U.S. tends to enforce the top of the hour onto its civilians. Fuck you. Fuck you, bro. God, sub.
政之外，你觉得有没有什么其他因素是有可能会对于你出入中国边境造成
Yeah, this is the Taiwanese airspace. For the record. This is the airspace Taiwan claims, and why the news is allowed to roam with China is in that airspace every week. Yeah. So when chatters say like, "Oh, China is like doing fucking, China is entering Taiwanese airspace," that's okay.
Well, what's concerning is not like the passenger jets. What's concerning are obviously Taiwan is not going to look positively on fighter jets running exercises over their territory.
Millionaire, by the way. Cone in the pool fo today. Thank you for the 5 get the subs.
You got any?
Fuck, it's okay. More accurate pic of the airspace invasion. I actually was gonna pull this up. Hold on. Fuck, it's paywalled. I can't show you. Republic of China administrative claims. By the way. No flights in the whole box are reported as incursions. If they're over the median, the incursion location is also reported. If there are incursions over mainland China, then it's reported as an incursion. Source, former Air Force intel. I did not know that. Can you explain something to me? I know nothing about this. So when China says Taiwan belongs to them, I assume they may have some actual control over their government, or is it just pressure? I don't know. What do you mean? When China says Taiwan belongs to them, I assume they have some actual control over their government. Well, they're just saying that those are, like, China's position is that those.
Oh, Hasan can't cleanly explain that. That's really sad. Well, if it belongs to China, why does China have control over any part of their government? No. The answer there is no.
Those are their people in Taiwan. Some of which they fucking owned, like, you know, defeated, and some of which they sent there. Okay? And they say that they own the land as well. Like, they control it. But as it stands, they can, you know, that they can have their own system. Okay, we already ran the fucking top of the hour ad break. Okay, please stop trying to debate me.
Good night, Natalie Lush. Get good sleep, okay?
Current situation of Uyghurs in China is a genocide. I actually don't know. I'm not.
I think there's a level of popularity / notoriety that one attains when learning something new or correcting old assumptions is incredibly difficult. Haas may be at that stage. I mean, yeah, correcting old assumptions can be incredibly difficult. The main issue here is that I was going back to see if, like, his current position was the result of, like, you know, a sudden change of some kind. But this is from a year ago, and it's basically the same stance he has on China now. And I don't know that he's at all ready to change his stance on any of these things. He seems to, if anything, have doubled down on a lot of it. It's concerning.
Not gonna get into that right now. Okay. You say it's like what do you call it? You say it's like Puerto Rico, American Samoa, and any other American territory, but but there is also an ethnic difference there, where like the majority of American Samoa are still ethnically Samoan.
Again, this is the weirdest argument he makes. Oh, well, they're ethnically Samoan, so they should have their own country. What? So you just believe in ethno-states? What? Right? That's the implication. The implication is he believes in ethno-states. Like, this is why it's important to pay attention to this stuff. And this isn't like the only time he uses this argument. He uses it over and over and over again. So he's fascist? I genuinely have no handle on what his actual political stance is. Because he is so bad at articulating it, and I don't know if that's on purpose or not. You know, it's frustrating.
Whereas there are still like Han Chinese people that live there. Chinese people, they all see themselves as Chinese.
I mean, yeah, I'm far more inclined than I was, like, you know, even a couple weeks ago to say that he's not a tanky. Like, I think that's more accurate the more I see.
Chinese across the board. So that's the difference. Also, there isn't like a historical precedent for the Puerto Rican Constitution laying claim to the entirety of mainland United States of America.
What?
As a leftist, I have a hard time seeing any other position than Taiwanese should decide for themselves, but I'm not exactly sure what to advocate policy-wise in the U.S. Well, if you want the Taiwanese to do it themselves, then, you know, America should not involve themselves.
But, like, that's the problem. You've already acknowledged that if not for America, Taiwan would be taken over violently by China. So, like, you're just saying, oh, China, yeah, Taiwan should just be part of China. I mean, I know he claims to be a progressive leftist, right? Like, I get it, but maybe it just doesn't go deeper than that. Maybe he just sees that as the only applicable label and can't, like, articulate a deeper understanding of his ideology. I genuinely don't know.
Selected Chinese sorties into Taiwanese airspace.
Also notice that this isn't Taiwan's airspace. You'll notice that this is actually labeled something different. Taiwan's Air Defense Identification Zone, which is not the same thing as airspace. Taiwan's Air Defense Identification Zone is like what they look at to identify any incoming threats to Taiwan. Like, that's what this is. Yeah, the median line is like the cutoff of the airspace. It's wild how like he even has it labeled here. You know, like
They went from calling it a genocide to cultural genocide, the cultural museumification in reference to the Uyghurs. Yeah, that is what the AP, that's what the Associated Press did. As far as what Nancy Pelosi was doing, she was just being a fucking psycho. Okay? That's it. And you will always find people that agree with that kind of decision, no matter how insane it is.
By the way, she wasn't being a psycho. She went to Taiwan to put diplomatic and economic pressure on China during negotiations, if I'm recalling correctly.
And what the American media will do is probably only put up people that agree with Nancy Pelosi's decision and portray it as like a black and white issue rather than a more complicated one, in an effort to, continue fucking doing the bidding of the American State Department, which is utilizing Taiwan as a cudgel against China, weaponizing Taiwan against mainland China, okay, in an effort to undermine China's regional dominance as China becomes the global hegemonic power. That's it.
Al Qaeda.
Now we're done with that part of the broadcast.
Dude. Oh, I can't, man. By the way, like, someone responded to one of my tweets the other day, saying, at least China has free healthcare and education, and they have an exceptional infrastructure that is still growing, and the retirement age for blue-collar workers is 50 years old, and for white-collar jobs it's 60 for men and 55 for women. And the median individual income is more than enough to live on in a tier 1 city, 28,000 to be exact. And it's just like, okay, bruh, right? They don't have free healthcare. I don't know how to tell people this, but they don't have free healthcare. They have insurance that covers like 60% of the costs, but it's not free. Like, it's not free at point of service. That's not how the Chinese healthcare system works. Second of all, their education is hyper-propagandized. Like, arguably to a much greater degree than the United States. Like, second of all, capitalist countries also have free healthcare. Third of all, they do have good infrastructure. But also, the stuff about the retirement age, if that might have struck you a little bit weird, well, frankly, that's because the retirement age recently had to be raised, because actually what's happening right now is China's population is aging, and a whole lot more people are about to come down the pipeline. But those whole lot of people aren't as many as the people that are currently aging. So what's going to happen is that more they need to tax people for longer. They're raising their retirement age. And yeah. So the retirement age is actually going up by a few years, and I'm going to guess that's going to keep happening as economic conditions continue to be wonky in China. As, they don't make as big of a profit as they were expecting. The economy, the explosive economic growth that they've enjoyed begins to slow. Entrama, thank you for subscribing, and you've been subscribed for 35 months. 1 month for 3 years. My goodness. Thank you so much, Entrama. I really, really appreciate you. Thanks for being with me for the long haul. And yeah, look, all I'm gonna say is that if you're simping on these grounds, like their healthcare, their retirement ages, not all they're cracked up to be. You're just not taking a look at the situation that's unfolding, frankly. And I feel like that's where Hasan is. You know, like Hasan is just not really digging farther than the barest amount of the surface, you know, like I don't know why, but that's where he's at. He literally just said China as the global hegemon. Yeah, it is the I guess final evolutionary form of American diabolism. Like it's just America bad taken to the most extreme degree. Yeah. Oh yeah, also good to point that out, targeted scapegoat. China also supports 2 healthcare systems. Which is wild. Because on the one hand, they have like traditional, you know, medicine predicated on like, you know, science. And on the other hand, there's like traditional Chinese medicine, which has none of the scientific backing. But both systems are supported by the government healthcare. So it's interesting, you know? I don't tell you that? Yeah. Cackles in American. You dare oppose us, immortal. I don't know. I felt like it was worth bringing up at the tail end here. Like a lot of the situations and a lot of the evidence put forward by China stands just don't add up. You know, like and again, they don't add up because socialism is fundamentally about the relationship between workers and capital and not about, oh, the government is nice. Look at all of these nice amenities provided by the government. That's not actually the entire thing that socialism is about. I'm in lurk mode while I play video games. Understandable. I wish you luck in that endeavor. Boom. Isn't Hasan losing viewers? I mean, everyone's losing viewers right now because it's like the calm before the politics storm, you know? Yeah, like every political streamer will see a massive surge next year. I know his leftover show does worse than the rest of the Hee stuff. Well, yeah, but that's because Ethan Klein is like the draw of Hee and like Hasan is very small compared to Ethan Klein in terms of reach. People are there primarily for Ethan, not Hasan, you know? Also, I've been gaslit successfully. I don't know if I'm supposed to call it hee or H3H3. I don't know. You guys have been successful.
Hey man, I have no idea.
In the gaslighting. Not hee. Well, again, people said that and then told me they've always called it hee, and so I don't know anymore. I just don't know anymore. I've only ever heard H3H3. Technically it stands for that, but it's H3. Okay. Alright. Alright. I'll believe you guys this one time. Alright, chat. I am sleepy. I'm gonna go cuddle the love of my life. And eat pizza. And I don't know. You know, in light of I just told you that I'm going to cuddle a lady, and I'm a lady, it would be homophobic of you not to hit the subscribe button, not to hit the follow button, and not to drop subs or donos. It is actively homophobic not to do one of those things. The love of your life? Look, I happen to know no one here is pro poop dick. God. Subscribe. Exposed shoulder, harlot. Look, I told you guys at the beginning, I'm a MySpace slut. That's what this outfit is called. Poopcock, sir. I'm really looking forward to the pizza. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm also looking forward to the cuddles, but are we gonna have buffalo chicken pizza? Or pepperoni, which I know, it's a real Sophie's choice. Okay, we're going with the pepperoni. I like the sleeves. Yeah, one of them's falling apart, which just kind of fits with the MySpace slut. Buffalo chicken pizza. Buffalo chicken pizza is the fucking best. I don't know why they make other types of pizza. Wait, did I find the love of my life in Japan? No, in Minneapolis. Have a good night. Good night, everybody. Bye.